Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. You must get sick of hearing that, and let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story does come with an update, and it's from I think it might be over, who says, me, 30 female, with my husband, 32 male, of 8 years, found possible evidence of cheating. I'm devastated. I don't know where exactly to start. He's working late tonight, or that is what he says, so I thought I'd take some time to write in and ask for advice. Sorry for this being disjointed. I've been pretty emotional and crying a lot this evening. We've been together since college, married for the last 8 years, right after college grad for me. We were perfect for each other. Many friendships have come and gone, but we've always found contentment in each other. Both adventurous and did some traveling together when we were first married. We argued, but not a lot. We had kids. First, planned child, was 6 years ago. Second, surprise child, and last is now 3. Since having kids, it's been tough to get time together. Both of our parents live a few hours drive away. There aren't many babysitters we found that can handle our rambunctious boys. Husband works a demanding, stressful job and has had to cancel vacation plans more than once over the last 6 years because of a terrible boss. We were seeing each other for what felt like minutes every day, and our children, while wonderful, demanded a lot of our time and energy. His boss changed about 6 months ago. Immediately his hours became more reasonable and his stress levels went down. Still long hours and travel some days, but better. We had evenings together again, but something was different. It felt like we were strangers, just roommates who had kids together. We were just so exhausted from the last few years that we must have spent a couple of months using any spare time we had once the kids were in bed, crashing, watching Netflix, etc. Just boring stuff. And all along I felt very disconnected from the man who was supposed to be my partner. So we talked about it. I told him I missed him. We had a few conversations about feeling disconnected. We hired a sitter, went on some dates, and things started to feel better. He's been more loving and attentive. He's bought me flowers again. I was feeling so hopeful, like I was getting my partner back. About a month ago I noticed something I think I wasn't supposed to. He has been talking about his work trip coming up for a week in August. It's been a bit of a sore point for me since, in my mind, summer is for family vacations, not work trips. But I've been being understanding. However, when he was in the shower, his phone beeped and I saw an email from someone named Allison, entitled Our Trip. I felt a little weird looking at it, but when I asked him about it, he checked his phone and told me it was a spam email. I didn't think of it after that, but since then, I haven't seen his phone left out again. I found something else about a week ago. It was a receipt for a jewelry store, and it was a sizable sum. Money has never really been terribly tight for us, but even I was surprised by how much it was for. I felt a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach and, I admit, looked for his personal laptop to see if I could snoop through his emails. But he'd taken his personal laptop to work, something he'd never done before. I was getting nervous, but somehow didn't want to bring it up with him. Maybe I was trying not to believe it, but this morning I found his credit card bill in his sock drawer. Why was he hiding it, you ask? There were transactions going back over the last month, all for stores that men typically don't shop at. I added them up and he has spent a few $100s on what looks like women's clothing and lingerie. I haven't seen anything from these stores in our house, so who are they for? He's working better hours but still away some evenings. He could be spending at least an evening a week with someone else. I don't know what to think, but I fear the worst. Is there someone else? Was I too unavailable when our kids were younger? Is he going on a trip with them? Is it this Allison person? What am I going to do if he leaves me? He's buying her presents, for God's sake. Doesn't that usually mean a man is moving on or falling in love with someone else? I don't know what to do. I don't know any of his passwords, so I can't snoop. I could call his office to make sure he's actually there when he says he is, but if I talk to anyone, I think I'm just going to start bawling again. He should be home in a few hours. What am I going to do? I don't want to raise my kids alone. I don't want to be alone. Edit. The comments are making me very scared. I'm thankful for everyone who's talking to me though, even when it's hard to hear. I've calmed down a bit, no longer sobbing, and I'm going to call my older sister to talk to a real person about this. She lives a couple of hours away, but we have always been close and she knows my husband well. I will try and update again later. Thank you again to everyone. Edit 2. I just had a very strange conversation with my sister. I told her everything, was getting really worked up and emotional and crying again. She interrupted me and told me, "Sis, it's going to be fine. You need to calm down and talk to husband when he gets home. I promised everything is okay. Hang up the phone, take a bath or something, calm down and wait for husband to get home." Then she said she loved me and she hung up. What the hell is going on with my life today? I feel like she just blew me off. She didn't even seem to react to what I was saying. But most commenters here seem pretty sure that something bad is going on. I feel like I'm going crazy. Edit 2. Right after I posted my edit about my sister in the phone call, my husband texted. He said my sister had called him and he was on his way home. And then we have an update in a moment. And I can't read the comments on this one because they're going to give away what comes up in the update, simply because it was all in one post. And I've got to admit, and I'm not going to lie, I did think about, what could possibly be going on, especially with like the statement hidden in the sock drawer, the woman's lingerie, the text, etc. And I know, it's probably because I've read too many of these stories. But then with that edit, it certainly, the sister was so calm and saying, "Don't worry," and all this sort of stuff. It's going to be fine. Talk to your husband. So it's almost like she knows something's going on. And for your own sister to tell you, to calm down and everything's going to be fine and to stop worrying. It certainly sounds like it's going to go that way. So let's dive straight into the update to ease our minds, hopefully. I immediately freaked out because I did not feel ready to talk to him. I was super pissed at my sister for calling him, and to be honest, I felt like the entire world was falling around my ears. I broke down. I didn't even know where I was, but when I heard the front door open, I realized I was on my knees in the kitchen, sobbing. My husband skidded around the corner, and when I saw him, I just started crying harder. He dropped to the ground in front of me and started apologizing, and I just lost it. I started shaking my head and saying, no, over and over again. I couldn't even hear what he was saying. He tried to hug me and I held my arms out all stiff like a kid does when they don't want to hug, just holding him back. It took me a few minutes to register what he was saying, but he was repeating over and over, "I'm sorry for scaring you, please listen to me. You need to hear what's going on. I'm not cheating, please listen to me." Just over and over. I finally stopped and just said, "What?" I was so drained and confused. It was good news. I saw some of the comments in the original post saying maybe it was a surprise and you folks get the grand prize. The story all came out. After our big talks about reconnecting, he called my sister for advice. My sister's idea was to have him spirit me away for a surprise weekend getaway while she and my brother-in-law took the kids. She connected him to her friend, a travel agent, remember Allison, to get the ball rolling. The plan evolved into my sister and parents trading off with the kids for the week. The jewelry receipt is for a necklace for me, to wear out to dinner on our trip. The credit card charges are for some fancy clothes and lingerie he got me on the trip. He took some of my clothes with him to get the sizes right and got a lot of help from the salespeople. He says they are my style, but they could be bags for all I care at this point. So why the surprise? My sister told him that it would be better if it was a surprise because it would be romantic that way. She didn't count on me finding out early and assuming the worst. I've had mild anxiety issues all my life that have been worse since having kids, but this was the worst it's ever been. I've never felt so totally out of control in my life. He didn't tell me all of this right away. Some of it came out in that first moment in the kitchen, but when I realized it was not the end of my marriage, I pretty much became incoherent with relief. This is embarrassing, but I sobbed so hard that I vomited a little. At least it was on the linoleum. Every cloud, I guess. The rest he told me after I calmed down. We talked until late last night. He showed me all the emails, showed me our destination. We got excited together. I'm not mad at him at all, which he is relieved by. Apparently my sister called him with a "red alert, get home now before your wife calls" a lawyer message. She knows I have some anxiety issues, so I may have to get after her about the decision to keep this all a big secret from me. Right now, I'm too relieved to be upset. I am a little concerned by how unhinged I became. I think I need to work on that. It's not like me. What am I going to do if a real crisis comes along? Some people were saying that I am codependent. Maybe they are right. But that's for later. For now, I'm enjoying my day with the kids and looking forward to my trip. Thank you to all the advice and good wishes from you all. I'm sorry for worrying anyone. You're wonderful people to spend your time ready to help a stranger through the screen. Hope your lives can all take an unexpected yet wonderful turn. And I do love an update like that. It's got positivity at the end of it, yet there's some real self-reflection in there as well. When she was saying, I am a little concerned by how unhinged I became, and they need to work on that because it's not like them, and talking about the codependency and all this kind of thing. And to me, in some ways, I'm glad the relationship didn't break up, absolutely, but in some ways they're like the real positives for me, discovering yourself and perhaps realizing that you need to improve on that, or maybe not improve, but get help for that in the future. But now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you dealt with it if you was OP in that situation? Would you be relieved afterwards? Would you be angry? How would you feel about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to another story. And our next story comes from Blast from the Past 1122, and again comes with an update, which says, ex-wife drops back into my life after 6 years. My ex and I met in college and were madly in love all 4 years in school. Got married after graduation in 2010. In 2013, I caught her in a year-plus affair with a co-worker. I was crushed. She said they loved each other, soulmates, didn't mean to hurt anyone, blah blah blah. We divorced only 3 months later. I was crushed and worst time of my life. I mourned for over a year. I heard they got married. One day I decided I was tired of being so sad, so I completely let go of her in my heart, got off my butt and truly moved on. I'm a programmer by profession and decided to take a pre-sale solutions consultant gig with one of the biggest software companies on the planet. That job has been amazing. I've traveled the entire world, every continent and all the major cities. Life has been a great adventure. I never did date seriously or remarry. I'm not opposed to casual dating and have dated beautiful women all over the globe. After my experience with marriage, I decided that wasn't my path and have been happy. Sometimes lonely, especially during the holidays, but overall happy. I had decided enough traveling for a while, so I switched roles and based in a major city in the US. I'm sitting in a diner on a Saturday morning, eating breakfast and reading the news, Facebook, Reddit, etc., and somebody says my name and says, "Oh my God." The voice sounded like one of my women friends at work, so I looked up to say hi and my jaw dropped. It's my ex-wife. Here I am, 2,000 plus miles away from our old hometown. Haven't seen her in almost 6 years, and there she is. I was dumbstruck. All I could say was, hi. I hate to say it, but she looked beautiful. She said I looked amazing. She asked if I was busy and that she didn't want to bother me, but she'd love to talk. I said sure. We ended up talking for over 2 hours and continued for another couple of hours when we went for a walk in a close by park. We were making small talk about mutual acquaintances, my stories of traveling the globe, everything but the elephant in the room. She finally asked me if I'd gotten remarried at any point. I said no, once was enough. She seemed sad by that. We walked in silence for maybe a minute and she said, "I have to say that I'm so sorry for what I did to you. You didn't deserve it. It was incredibly shitty and has haunted me since it happened. You didn't do anything wrong." I said, "You fell in love with someone else and married them. I couldn't stop you from doing that. I wanted you to be happy." Then I asked, "Are you happy?" She laughed one of those joke laughs, ha. She told me the OM, I assume other man, and her fought constantly, and he ended up cheating on her and leaving her 2 years into marriage. I said, "I'm sorry that happened to you. I know how bad that can hurt." She said she knew. That when her heart was broken, all she could think of was that she had done the same thing to me, and that tortured her. She said she fell apart for almost a year, engaged in a very self-destructive behaviour, and then went to therapy to figure out why she's so screwed up. She said that was extremely helpful, and several years ago she finally grew up and holds herself accountable for her own actions now. She had ended up moving to this city because she has an aunt that she loves that lives there, and after a second divorce before age 30, she needed to make big changes in her life. The changes were noticeable. She's definitely more mature. I had to go and get ready for the evening with friends, so we said our goodbyes. We exchanged contact info and agreed to go and have a coffee and talk more. We have been doing that. We're both single. I guess there's no harm. I can tell she wants more from me. She wants me to want her back. She drops hints as big as the Pacific Ocean. I'm not dumb. I have to admit, she still has that certain something that just makes my heart skip a beat. Something I can't describe. Something I hadn't found in anyone else since her. I guess it's chemistry between us. To be honest, I want to be more than friends. I want to hold her and kiss her. She wants that too, but as of yet, I've made 0 moves. What holds me back? Fear. I'm afraid of getting hurt again. If she had been a casual girlfriend that dumped me, I would have shook it off and moved on quickly. She wasn't though. She was my wife and the love of my life. I used to dream of her somehow coming back into my life. Well, here it is, and I'm scared shitless. I don't know if I can give her that much of myself again. I'm way more protective of my heart now. We've both grown a lot and the past seems like 100 years ago. If she wasn't who she is, I'd already be head over heels in love. I struggle with, do I pursue love with her again or do I leave the past in the past? It sounds cliche, but it had to be her. Of all the people I could have met here, it had to be her. And before we get into the update, we're going to cover some comments straight away. One from Fatboy Slim who says, personally, getting back with an ex is like eating your own vomit. Sagas are never good. Remember you divorced for a reason beyond your control. Remember the pain you went through. I believe you were in love with the idea of her and not the reality. 2 divorces before 30 is a trend. Spazigo says, I'd keep this as friends only, if that. Who doesn't love romance, but life isn't a rom-com. 2 divorces before 30 is a lot of baggage. If he hadn't cheated, they'd still be married. She didn't leave because she still loved you. You only crossed her mind after he did to her what she did to you. Your life went on a dizzying upward trajectory after the divorce. Her spiraled down and she lived a depressed, reckless life. She's at the bottom, you are at the top. Why wouldn't she want to be a part of what you have? Despite the problems in therapy, one of the best life lessons that never fails is, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Good luck. Messi says, despite what a lot of people say, fear is not a bad thing. It's there for a reason. She was happily married to you and then casually fell in love with someone else out of an affair and wasted a year of your life, falling in love with your ex-college sweetheart. AKA, maybe your love of life. Sounds like a fairy tale, no? But imagine the literal heartbreak of having your heart in pieces again by the same person who broke it in the first place. Zidane001 says you're charmed by her and you truly loved her. I think those are beautiful things. She broke your heart and she's clearly capable of going round 2 on it. Considering how clear it is, based on what you wrote, how much you're capable of loving her, or anyone for that matter. I think she is best viewed as the one that got away, and should remain that way. So now we're going to turn straight to the update to find out what happened next. So update. I've gotten so many requests for an update. I have one, but was hesitant to post it because in this sub, I'd take a lot of grief. The update is we got remarried over the Christmas holidays and we're now pregnant. She has grown a lot as a person, so have I. We're not kids anymore. We're in an adult relationship and it's much better than before. Throw in the chemistry we've always had and it's wonderful. I couldn't be happier. I do want to address the accusations that she tracked me down. She didn't. She had moved to our current city before I did. She really had moved on, went to therapy, and had grown a lot as a person. I just happened to be in that diner. We think it had to be fate or some type of intervening force. Neither of us are religious, but the astronomical odds of us running into each other, both single and in a city neither of us have ever lived in, are hard to ignore. Obviously, the universe had a plan for us. I wish you all of good luck. My only advice is, don't close your heart. You never know who will stroll into your life. And now I'm going to turn this one straight to you guys. What do you guys make of that update? Do you consider it a positive update or perhaps a negative? Lots of people in the comments below that one saying, get a prenup. So I'll just leave that one there. But I'm also well aware a lot of people are cynics as well. So let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time means the absolute world to me and the channel, and I can't express the difference you really do make. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today